I'm going to have a pledge written to myself that I'm going to sign, and I'm going to have Audrey show it to me during the race.
Every time
and be like, this was past Jeff writing a note to now present Jeff.
What's on the pledge? Like, what's the pledge?
I've got it. Yeah. Basically, it's basically just like, like man up. Like don't get complacent. You're gonna regret it, bitch. Every minute counts. Don't be a bitch. Yeah,
get out of the aid station.
Welcome back to the next aid station. I'm your host, Jake Kilgore. Guy on my left again, hanging out with me for one more episode, Joe Corcione.
You say that like it's like a pain. You're like,
oh my gosh, dude, this guy from the Everyday Ultra.
They're like, where's Mick? Come and save me.
But we got Jeff Pelletier in the house. What's up, buddy?
Thanks for having me.
Pelletier, French.
That's
a good last name.
Yeah. Very well, French Canadian.
You get a lot of Pelletiers.
Pelletiers. Yeah. Pelletier. That's
okay.
Yeah. Pelletier.
Yeah. You've probably told the story on other pods, maybe even your own. But I got to understand how you got into all the content creation. And then we'll get into Cocodona and some running. But like, dude, your stuff is freaking awesome.
So good.
Thank you.
It is seriously so good. And you shoot it all, produce it all. You do it all yourself?
Well, yeah, I mean, I produce it all. I edit everything. Lately, the last couple of years, I've been collaborating with cinematographers like Derek Lytle, who's out with me here at Cocodona, Drew Darby. He was out as well with Derek at Mammoth. Dude, the film from the Mammoth is going to be awesome. I got that coming out real soon. I had both Drew and Derek out there. We got just awesome footage. So
of your experience.
Exactly. So I'm still telling the story from a first-person perspective. I'm still carrying my camera, talking to camera, but supplementing that with primarily drone footage, but also like some good aid station footage as well. So
that they shot the drone.
Yeah. So it's trying to like bring a bit of production value to that first person perspective, but it's still like what I'm really aiming for is an immersive experience. So like I've some films you watch are very cinematic, like documentaries where they're about somebody. But I don't feel like they give you a feeling of what it's like to actually run those races or like to be in those moments. You kind of hear about it after the fact, right?
Yeah.
So my goal is always to like really immerse you in that feeling.
So you want to create a first person version of it in the moment, not necessarily like a post-race interview documentary.
I'll never, in my kind of style, my format, I'll never do like a post-race sit-down talk about it. It's always either in the moment or even beforehand. So interviews with my crew and my pacers, like what are they expecting? And then voiceover, basically. So I want to keep you immersed in the moment.
Because that's your brand. That's your style.
Exactly, totally. And I want to keep you immersed in it. I feel like when you do the post-race interviews, and there's a reason to do it that way. Like it's typically by necessity, but I think it takes you out of the story a little bit.
Interesting. Oh. So Re-Lyte is sponsoring all things Next Aid Station on these episodes. We're doing a short race documentary that Brandon here, he's going to shoot for me.
Cool.
So that's very interesting. So we were like, do we shoot a pre-race and a post-race? And how do we decide what to do? We're not pros like you guys, dude. You guys are the pros behind it, but obviously, you can do either or.
Well, I do shoot pre and post as well. So it's, you could call it like Act 1 is like the before.
Yeah.
Act 2 is the race. Act 3 is kind of like what you learned and like debriefing or whatever. But even that, like, I think there's a certain element of like, and again, there's a lot of this is stylistic, but like talking to camera to the viewer versus being interviewed. Like even that, a lot of that's like subconscious, but very real effects on the viewer.
And when did you go full time into this where it was your career and you could drop a job, but this became your job?
So yeah, I mean, just real quick kind of summary. I've been doing video production my entire working career, like basically since high school, which, I'm turning 45 this year. So it's been a while.
47, man, we're right there.
It's been a while.
Young guy right here.
Yeah. So I ran a video.
You guys are still young. Stop it. Yeah.
For this distance, right? We got a few more years ahead of us, dude, hopefully. Yeah. So I ran a video production agency for about 21 years, basically my entire working career. So we're doing like corporate videos and commercials, documentaries. So the technical stuff is one thing, but the storytelling on YouTube is totally different. So kind of on the side, I was looking for a creative outlet. I was mostly just managing a team. So started picking up a camera again after years, and I had started trail running as well and started doing longer races. So it kind of just made sense to start kind of telling some stories and start documenting that. at some point, I think it was around the pandemic, so it was around 2020 that I kind of started leaning into it more, and to the point where I was telling people like it was kind of my like part-time income but full-time job, and then my agency was kind of taking a back seat. So it wasn't until finally last summer that I decided to step away from my agency and basically do YouTube full-time.
Wow.
Just barely?
Just like last year, basically.
No kidding.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I'm
Yeah,
surprised
I mean,
as well.
I was
thought you were full-time for a
well, I was basically
wow.
working 2 full-time jobs.
Yeah.
Is the thing. So
Okay.
I was trying to
my
manage
gosh.
my agency, my team from the road, and from the road I mean like all over the world. Like we've been traveling pretty much steady since like 2021. The second the travel, as soon as I could travel, I started traveling again in 2021 pretty heavily. So it was kind of by necessity. But to say it like it was, I mean, I started, got to a point where I was making as much, if not more, off YouTube as I was running my business, and I wasn't really serving my team anymore, so decided to step away.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That was amazing.
And also my partner Audrey launched her coaching business around the same
Nice.
time as well.
Congrats
So
on
she's
her.
now able to like travel full time with me. So we've got
Trail running coaching.
trail running coaching.
Nice.
Yeah, ultra. Well, actually road running as well. She has some road clients as well.
Running.
But she can work full time remote
Okay,
as
Audrey,
well.
let's go,
So,
girl.
yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Good
So
for
it's
you
like we
guys,
kind of
man.
crafted a lifestyle that allows us, we keep our overhead really small, like really low, and just kind of we can travel for 6-8 months of the year.
And you guys, is this your van?
That van outside is courtesy of Ross Monster, so that is not our van. But
Who is that?
It's a great custom conversion truck and van company based in Longmont, Colorado. They do awesome stuff. They're like luxury.
Shout out Ross Monster.
Ross Monster. They do luxury stuff.
They're
if you're
now a
looking
sponsor
for,
of the next aid station.
There you go. Well, they sponsor our films, so we work with them a couple
sweet.
times a year. We have a couple other partners as well, but we're pretty lucky that we get to live in this thing right now for about a month. So
Bro,
this is our
you
home
guys
on
are
wheels.
living in that.
Yeah. It's
so
and
Audrey's
it's
like,
awesome.
yeah, baby.
Yeah. This thing's got it's got a microwave, it's got heated floors,
Whoa.
shower, like
Heated
it's
floors.
good.
Well,
yeah.
if you're living it, it's got to have everything.
Yeah. Well, also, I mean, this is the thing, like for Audrey as well, she gives up a lot crewing me for these events, right? Like, and I support her, but nothing like what it takes for these 200 plus milers. So I feel like it's the least I can do to like give my crew like a good vehicle to work out of for the week.
That is the reason why. So I drove my truck down here loaded with all the podcast gear and running stuff for however many days and packed to the brim. But my family's flying down Monday and a couple Pacers are flying in. They're going to meet me at Whiskey Row and I'll just, I'll make my way there. But I rented a van.
Yeah.
Honestly, for them.
Yeah.
I'm like, if by chance I want to like lay down in it, I will. But like, it's for Brandon and them. Because to your point, they're putting in work, dude. And I'm like, I want you guys to be comfortable and be able to hang out, take a nap if I'm 2 hours behind or I tell you I'm going to be there at a certain time. So yeah, that's a great call.
Well, we learned our lesson. I mean, this was years ago when I did the Swiss Peaks 360K, 2019. And that course is kind of like Cocodona. It's a huge point to point. So, it's like we rented these different like Airbnbs and hotels and you're like, I think we're going to be here on this day. But like, if I'm behind, I mean, I guess we don't have a hotel for the night.
Yeah,
right?
like, I don't know.
So we learned our lesson there. It's like the crew has to stay mobile, but they got to be able to sleep and cook and stuff. So a van is the way to go for sure.
Yeah. So we have like overlapping Airbnbs.
Yeah, just in case.
Right. So that starts to add up, right?
Yeah.
We got 2 spots for Tuesday,
Yeah.
2 spots for Wednesday, and a van. It's like, I mean, I'll try to run fast, okay? I'm going as hard as I can. Yeah. Well, what's the relationship with Solomon?
I was a Sullivan athlete for years. I no longer am. I just, you know what? These shoes have got me through all my 200s. So I kind of keep going back to them. I know they work for me.
Yeah, I think I saw in your Cocodona video, I think you might have mentioned you were going to wear those.
Yeah, I have a couple other shoes too. The Norda 005 and the normal, is it the Tomir 2, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, that I have in my quiver, my rotation as well. But I'll probably do a good 200 miles in these because, again, they've got me through a lot of past races. But I am working with Path Projects on this project as well. So Floris Gearman, one of the co-founders, is on my crew. I've got Floris, I got Billy Yang, a guy named Rob Fisher, Canadian.
You got Billy Yang on the crew on this.
On my crew, on my pacing and yeah.
Let's go,
It's like
Billy.
It's like 2 of my Mount Rushmore of ultra running content creators, like on one crew. Like that is so awesome.
Oh,
This is the
Jeff and Billy on my Mount Rushmore content creators, and that's like like 50% of them ran that crew.
Well, let me tell you. So Floris Gearman, great guy. Like I said, co-founder of Path Projects, also a content creator. Billy Yang, we all know and love.
Yeah.
So they'll both be pacing and crewing, capturing content. Rob Fisher, who's an animator. He's a Canadian guy. He did the animations for The Cutoff recently. That was awesome.
Dude,
like
that
maps,
was so good.
Right?
So good.
He did the animations for my Badwater film, as well as The Finisher, all that cool like gate animation and stuff. So
and then I got the animations for The Finisher.
The Finisher. So there was
for a single track.
Yeah. Like the gate. I don't know if you remember that. And there was, and then also the stuff that was like an animated kind of like what her perspective was in the forest, like all that stuff, right?
So cool.
And then I have Derek Lytle as my cinematographer, also following us around. So we got a good content crew.
Bro, those are like your homies.
Yeah.
So everyone crewing and pacing is literally like your like niche content creation.
We're kind of like a little, nerds. We're all sort of like
freaking content creating nerds.
Yeah, like racing runners, content creators.
Random question,
so cool.
like to be around all those content creators is so awesome and stuff like that. Like when you go into these races, do you have like in your mind? I know with the ultra marathons, right? There's so much unexpected. You don't know what's going to happen, but do you have like a general kind of loose, like not storyboard, but like a angle you want to tell, or is it more like let me just kind of see what happens?
No, I've got I mean, I've got some like there's some stuff I do script in advance. Like I got an intro and stuff scripted. There's things that I know. Of course, I don't know how the story's going to go, but I do have like an angle. And so part of this is like this is where I'm trying to like elevate my storytelling a little bit. Where at some point I'm just telling the same story over and over again. And it's like it's not the story of me trying to finish a race. I'm pretty sure I can finish the distance. I've done it a handful of times now. I mean, this is 10 miles further than I've ever run, but only 10 miles further than say like the Moab 240.
Yeah.
And like I'm not racing for the win.
Right.
So like what am I racing for? Like, we were joking like,
so what's the story?
Yeah. What's the story? Like the mammoth, it was like, am I racing for 8th place? Like that's not that exciting. You know, it's like, so, I have to start finding a different sort of, like what's the skeleton of the story. So for like that one, I realized it was sort of like trying to figure out my why for running these races.
That's why you got Billy Yang.
Well, yeah, exactly.
You got the guy who created the why.
That's right. So for that one, it kind of hit me during that race. Like if you pace these things right, like that last sort of 20 miles is pretty fun. Like you get just a burst of adrenaline. And I had that at the Mammoth. Like I just had so much fun that last day, just like kind of chasing, the race within the race, right? Like I had been passed by a couple guys, and in the end, it kind of like I was trying to catch Roman was the last guy so it's sort of like I realized that my reason for doing these races is that feeling you get that last 20 miles, the first 180, price of admission for that last 20.
That's expensive.
And so that's kind of
That,
that's the story behind that film in the end, right? So it's not a huge story, but it's an angle. And so for this one, I've been working on that, on like what is this one about? Like what are the stakes? Like what are we trying to do here?
Yeah, do you kind of have to have that before you go, or you're like, no, I'm going to toe the line and then the story will write itself? I
mean, I think it's better if you do. So let's go back to I just ran the Badwater last year, and I should say I just published the film recently from the Badwater 135, and that one, the whole angle was like, again, I'm not there to like win, and I know I can run the distance, but the question is like how much can we really dial this in? So it was all about, can we use data? Can we use we did sweat testing, we did and so it's like, can we attack this cerebrally? That was kind of the question that we were trying to answer. That was my reason for doing the race, and that was the question we were trying to answer in the film. So it's part and parcel. And, in the end, it kind of turned out like there's more to racing a race like Badwater than just data. And that was kind of like, my race didn't go perfectly, put it that way. And so I got my answer, and the answer was not really. You can't really like overly engineer these races. But that was the angle we took, and that was the angle we took I had a friend who was a doctor with us. He had a spreadsheet, and so we really leaned into that in the filming. It was like, let's the whole time data. So we had to kind of know that going into the race to know that that's how we were going to film it as well. Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Brandon's going to get a kick out of this stuff, huh?
Yeah, he's probably loving this.
Yeah, he's like learning all this stuff. We're having a whole conversation on the drive down here, and if we get more sponsors and kind of do more filming for next aid station and my next race or the race after, and kind of just creating like, how do you create a film that is just different enough each time that continue to draw people back.
Yeah. And again, like we've been doing this for a while now, and I don't know if the audience feels this way, but I'm starting to feel like I'm just telling the same story over and over again. So I'm trying to like figure out like different angles and stuff. And, but also as a runner, sometimes you can start to feel like you're just running the same race over and over again. Yeah. Like, why are you, are you trying to run further? So what's your reason for signing up for an event? That could be the same reason or the same story you would tell if you were to make a film about that race. Mm-hmm. So why are you running this? Is it the landscapes? Is it the people? Is it a new distance? Is it the heat? Is it the altitude? Like what are the stakes, right? So I think you gotta basically determine what the stakes are and kind of lean into that in your storytelling
and lay that out early,
ideally, and tease it out too, right? So something that Audra and I talk about a lot, because I should say as well, we document her races too, but also she does a great job of documenting her first person perspective. And sometimes we do a dual person, so we like cut back and forth, which is fun. But she's gotten really good at that too, where she knows, like, because we talked about this, if something happens where you're like, ooh, like I'm getting this weird pain developing, you got to talk about it, because you can't just have it crop up halfway through the race and you're like, oh, I'm dropping. The audience is going to be like, what?
60 miles ago.
Oh, yes. Oh, by the way, 60 miles ago, I started developing this pain.
Yeah.
So you got to start teasing it out by filming it and talking about it to the camera. And if it goes away, fine, we don't need to use it. But that way we have it as foreshadowing in case that becomes a plot point in the story.
Yeah.
So as you're going, you have to have this kind of 30,000 foot view, like a director view of like, oh, wait, is this the way the story is going? Okay, I better start capturing that. So you're kind of writing the script as you go.
How do you do that while racing?
You're
working while racing.
That's what, so like I just got into YouTube like really recently. Like I'm trying to film my training runs, and like, I do a hard workout, and I'm like, the last thing I want to do is take out this camera. And I'm sure with years of experience you get better at it, but like, man, like how do you develop the skill, I guess is.
It's okay. So taking out the camera, that sort of part of it becomes second nature, because I've been filming since I was like 15. Literally like 30 years. I've had a camera in my hand. So, I remember my first 200 Tour des Gens. I remember coming off this.
That's a crazy first 200, by the way.
It's
an insane first 200.
Still, I just kind of dropping that.
That's it.
It was just the first one.
Did I tell you guys I ran?
Anyway, that old thing.
Yeah. But I remember coming to an aid station in the middle of the night with a bunch of guys, and everybody was just trashed, and like. But my first instinct was get the camera out. So I'm filming people like sleeping, and like they look like corpses, and everybody's all, and I'm running around, and people are looking at me like, are you racing?
Yeah,
like, what do you? Dude? And then I kind of, I hit stop, and then it hits me again, like, oh yeah, I'm tired too, right? So I need to have a nap and take care of myself. But sometimes you just snap into that sort of mode where you're, and I think in that way it can kind of help, because it sort of takes you out of your, whatever. Sometimes it's just a mental thing, and it helps you snap out of that and kind of go into a different mode. Other times, sure, it's a distraction. Like sometimes I don't take care of myself as efficiently as I should.
You forget.
I forget.
You're filming instead of like eating.
I leave my poles, and I got to go back for them because I'm distracted, right? So, but I do think it's a net positive. But a lot of that stuff comes naturally, I think, after a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Are you in the point now in your career with merging your two loves of filming and being in the mountains, right? You've merged those, and that's like your career, your life. That's kind of your livelihood. Where at some point you get like free, you get stuff for free, right? Okay, maybe you get race comped, maybe you get some free gear, some free stuff. But then at some point it has to turn the corner where like you have to have income.
Yeah.
Not just like a free van for the day. Like, how does somebody make that like transition? Because it seems like a lot of people, more people than most, can get like, oh yeah, we got some free packages. We got a free pair of shoes.
Product is easy.
Product's easy, right? I can get free product. I can get a free race entry into this because I'm going to do a film on it or something. Mm-hmm. But turning the corner to revenue generating.
Yeah.
Speak to that.
Okay, so running an agency for 2 decades, I wrote a lot of proposals. And so that's something where you get good at, speaking to your value proposition and negotiating tactics and, tiered pricing. There's all this stuff. Sales is a transferable skill, put it that way.
Yeah.
But I think importantly, you do need to figure out what value you can bring to a brand and be able to articulate that well. But also you need to be realistic. So I think a big part of it, maybe to answer a question within the question there, I think, which is, when are you ready to start asking for money? I think you need to be able to not guarantee, but begin to predict viewership, for example. So at this point, I can do a race And I'll admit, I pick my races now based on, like,
Heck yeah,
like Badwater's going to get some views. Let's
Cocodona gonna get views.
Yeah, Cocodona's going to get views. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's worth investing a lot of time, but also a lot of money, right? Like in hiring people to help and all the expenses, all my time too. Like I'm going to be, after this, I got a couple hundred hours of editing ahead of me. So, it's a lot of work. And that's even after having somebody do a rough cut for me. So, so it's an investment, right? But I can pretty much guarantee, X number of views. Call it 1 million views over the first 18 months. And that means I can go to sponsors and say, this is roughly how much exposure we can get. Minimum 500,000, maybe up to a couple million over a certain period of time. So that's the first step. And then I have other projects where I know it won't get as many views. And so I'll be honest about that. But sometimes it's a deeper connection. Or you can package up projects. You can say, I'm going to have the film, and then I'll probably do a gear breakdown where I can talk more about the product, use affiliate links, and track ROI. But the first thing really is, I think, having a track record. And getting good enough at your craft, but having built the audience and having that track record where you can kind of, again, almost guarantee viewership.
I feel like you're kind of getting there, dude, with your YouTube stuff the last few months.
It's
last 6 months?
It's getting there.
It's coming up, bro.
Getting there. It's still small, but
I took a peek at it.
Thank you.
I took a peek to see where you're at.
Getting there.
Your subscribers are coming up. Your views are coming up. I'm like, hey, he's going somewhere with his YouTube thing.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. The thing with YouTube, though, I find is so interesting is like you can have things that just pop.
Yeah.
Like, so I do, podcasting is my background. And
Yeah.
the thing with podcasting is you have the episode, you have the big jump for a week, and then it kind of goes in the ethers, right?
Yes.
Like there's some resurfacing if you have old Cocodona episodes and people doing recon or whatever, but like most of the time it's not there. Like we did an interview with Kilian, Korth, and it sat around 2,000 for like months, and then just this week it went up to 11,000 out of nowhere.
Because they're all watching it.
Yeah, but like
Because of
that's like the
Cocodona,
thing
yeah.
about YouTube.
Yeah.
So
We
it's like
talked
it seems
about
that
that.
YouTube is out of all, from my perspective, out of all like the things you can do to create content, it seems like YouTube is the one that has like the most long tail monetization. Would you agree with that?
100%, totally.
Yeah.
And what you mentioned there, probably what happened was it's getting referred because
Yes.
a bunch of Kilian related content's
Yeah.
going online,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
now, and that's getting referred as the next video.
Oh, like
so
him
you'll
doing
get
pre-race interviews
You'll
and
get
stuff.
spikes like that. I've got videos
Interesting,
from
yeah.
years ago where all of a sudden I get a spike and I
Yeah.
look and you can see which videos are referring
Oh,
it.
no way.
And it's like, oh, somebody just uploaded a new Cocodona documentary or whatever. So you get that bump of
So you can look at
referrals.
the algorithm background.
Yeah, you can look at what videos are sending traffic. And usually when you get that bump, it's because a new video related to yours has been uploaded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I mean, definitely like to your question, I mean, long tail, I think is where the real power is because you have the algorithm. With podcasts, when it comes to like Spotify subscriptions, people kind of download it when it's new, they listen, and that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Whereas with YouTube, you do have that long tail stuff. And I think that's where it's important to really focus on content that can be evergreen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay to do stuff like, that's more trend related, more news based. But having a good, solid foundation of evergreen content, that's where you can start to build sustainable income. So you mentioned sponsors.
Yeah.
Honestly, in my case, sponsors are a small portion of our income. It helps, and it's upfront money.
Yep.
But at this point, it's now long tail stuff, where you'll get an initial bump, and then a film will settle down and still generate each month, call it $100.
Sure.
But if you get enough of those stacked up,
The reps.
before you know it,
You get the YouTube check every month.
yeah, before you know it, you're paying your rent based on old content, and you're just adding new stuff to the stack.
So is the model where you can build like retirement type residual income in perpetuity?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. With mine, without getting too specific, like I right now can just live off my passive revenue.
Yeah.
And every time I add a new film, it bumps it up. Now it does start to go down. So you got to, it's,
You got to stay relevant and active, right?
think of it like a fire, right? And
Yeah.
once you get that fire going, you just got to add a log once in a while, kind of stoke the flames a little bit, but you've kind of got it built, but you're not starting a new fire every month.
But that fire, it doesn't start overnight either.
Exactly. So it's taken about a decade for me to build up that passive revenue. So when you think about it, now I need to kind of pay back past Jeff for all that sweat equity that I didn't get paid for. And fortunately, I was in a position where I had that agency and that business I had built
fund it.
the previous decade to fund it while I was in startup mode. I think that's the part that's hard, is to tell somebody you got to spend a decade, call it 5 to 10 years of sweat equity to get to a point where you're living off your YouTube channel. What are you doing in the meantime? You're working 2 jobs.
Yeah. Do you think most people just ditch it because of that?
I think people stop before they get to that point.
Like the average podcaster, I think doesn't even make it to 20 episodes.
Yeah.
I think it's
it's way less
episodes.
than that.
Yeah,
it's like
5.
6.
It is?
Yeah, it's like 5. Like 99% of podcasts aren't over 5 episodes or something like that.
They just die.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
5. So like an average like aspiring YouTuber is like.
Oh, I think YouTube's even
videos?
longer. It feels like it. I don't know. Like it feels like
I
YouTube's
feel like there's something
yeah.
like I'm only at, I don't know, 220 videos maybe. Like I unlist videos as well as I go sometimes, like old gear videos and stuff that are relevant. But you see a lot of channels with hundreds of videos, and if, like look at somebody's successful YouTube channel. Chances are they'll have at least a few hundred videos. It's very rare to see a channel that has consistent viewership with fewer than a few hundred videos. That's a lot of videos.
Whoa, that's actually
And what is the cadence of release?
So that's where I think it really depends. And I hesitate to give, I think what's working for me right now, I don't know how replicable that is. I've kind of found a formula. And frankly, I hit on this very early. I've got a film from, it's like 8 or 9 years old, from a trek I did in Nepal that's got like 2.7 million views. 12 years old. I did the trek like 15 years ago. I can't even remember when I published it. But that format's very similar to what I'm still doing now. It starts with like a 45-second intro with the voiceover, like it teases it, opening credit, like it's very, very similar. So, and then voiceover throughout, map animations. I've gotten better at it, but frankly, I kind of stumbled on a format that worked pretty early on, and I've just been iterating on that. So I think I'm lucky in that way. But it really is like, in my case, it's been resisting the temptation to publish quantity over quality. Like to really go the opposite, where I'll spend like months on a film knowing that if I get it right, it can live on the platform for years. Whereas if I rush it, and some people do the opposite, they publish just weekly, got to get a video out. And it tends to burn bright and then die out quickly.
So it's not just about like it's not about like the post every day or anything.
I don't think it is. No.
Good
It's
content.
like Instagram or a YouTube short.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? You're like, no.
It's totally opposite.
Totally
and I try
opposite.
and I still experiment a little bit with shorts, but I don't think the traffic converts to long form. I think, and especially now, something like 73% of my views are on a connected TV. So I'm knowing that.
Dude,
right?
I watched all your stuff on my TV.
Well, there you go. So knowing that everything's in 4K and has been for years, but even my graphics, I'm like, I can make them smaller. I know people are,
but now that they're all smart TVs and I'm going to watch an hour or an hour and a half or whatever, I'm like, I don't want to watch it on my phone.
And you don't want to watch.
Lay in my bed and watch on my TV.
And you don't want to watch a 2-minute video. You want to be able to go, okay, great, set the remote down. Lean
Yes.
Like a Netflix.
So it's a lean back experience, where shorts, you're hovering, you're ready to, so it's a lean in experience. So I want to design for the lean back experience. I want, when I publish a new film, people go, oh, great, a new Jeff film. They kind of know what they're going to get. They know it's like, okay, yeah, it's going to be about an hour. Let's sit back. So it's a harder earned audience member, but once I get them, I feel like it's a more kind of dedicated audience.
Yeah.
So you're, Mediocre Amateur?
Yeah, I love Mediocre Amateur.
Mediocre
Danny,
Amateur's great.
Oh, it's awesome.
Okay, Danny was on. We had him on my podcast last summer.
Oh, it's great. Yeah,
his stuff's rad too.
And same thing. It's kind of like once every couple months he throws a video on there.
Yeah,
but it's everybody. They're like sweet, and they sit back. It's going to be good. And this is maybe. The word I use is consistency, but not consistency like you got to upload once a week. Yeah. It's that when you show up in a similar way.
Yeah.
So people know what to expect from you, and they're not like, what the hell is this? I thought this guy made X and now he's making Y. It's a similar tone. It's a similar kind of like feeling that the audience gets when they watch your stuff. Yep. And if that takes you 3 months between videos, then so be it. So whatever consistency means to you, it's not about frequency though.
Wow, and it's about like keeping the same kind of whether it's style, sequence, thing that you do out there. I'm curious for you. I definitely want to still double click into Cocodona, and this is I know a zoom out, but like there's just so much ultra running content nowadays, right? It's just getting more with more documentaries, more stuff like that. Like, where do you see the landscape shifting over the years with now this boom in ultra running content, more people making films? Like, where do you see it being in the game way earlier than most people who are just getting it now?
So I think there's 3 buckets. There's the creator, like say myself, or like even like a guy like Billy who's doing it for a lot of years, kind of does everything themselves. But more recently now, there's the athlete, who's like, call it David Roche, right? Where he's working with Cody Bear, the filmmaker. David's not editing himself.
No.
Right.
He's getting funding from a brand. That's I think where we're seeing a huge explosion.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, and that's what I'm doing. Like I have someone edit my stuff too.
I'm going to get funding from a brand, and I'm going to have someone who's way better than me like do it.
Yeah, and then we're seeing.
I'll run.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Max Jolliffe, right? Like his channel. So, and then the third category, which has always existed, is like the cutoff, the chase, like Dylan Harris as a director, where you don't really know. Yeah, a movie where the production team, like math, and it takes a year to make the film. And we've always had that since Unbreakable, JB Bennett, right? So that's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Those are rad, dude.
It's amazing.
Like popcorn. I'm like, those are so awesome.
Totally. Not really. They work on YouTube, but they're not really made for YouTube, right? Like they're films.
Do they put them on YouTube because that's just the easiest platform to release on?
I think that's like, where else are you going to put them? And they get views because people expect them, and there's enough of an audience now that you can put them on. You can you're guaranteed to get 1 million views on a good film. Yeah. But it's not really like taking into consideration the context of the platform in the same way, like where, and not to say it needs to, but I don't think those films make for good channels, put it that way. They're kind of just random. They're one-off. They're,
like The Chase isn't going to have a channel. It's like, no, go.
It's through Aravaipa, but also,
just go watch the movie.
Yeah, and then you're going to have to wait 8 months till the next one.
Yeah.
Whereas, so what else is there in between, right? So there's sort of these like, so it's not a show, put it that way. And I think that's where the opportunity is now, is to start making shows. And that's where I want to move into, which is, I mean, you think about like Anthony Bourdain, like that's a travel show that is nowadays would just be a YouTube show, right? Or any kind of travel show, any kind of cooking show, like home reno shows. Those were all YouTube shows. They had a host. They had, the problem with YouTube, I think, is the economics aren't always there. So how do you launch a new show without having a built-in audience? Like it's tough. And that's where you get the creator-led channels where they're kind of bootstrapping, like I did for years. Yeah. And I think where I'm lucky is I get to live in that world of creator, but also the athlete. So I'm not hiring an athlete. I'm not asking for permission. Like, hey, Courtney,
I want to go run this.
Courtney,
race.
can I film your race? And she'll be like, well, no, I've already got Solomon filming. Thank you.
Yeah,
very
you
much,
got to beg
right?
some runner.
Yeah.
And
then how are you revenue sharing? How are you?
Who has a following?
Am I going to get them to carry a camera? Like, so I'm kind of lucky in that way that I'm kind of wearing multiple hats.
Yeah.
So,
What about like a mini series on Netflix? What do we got? What are we going to do to get an ultra running mini series? Jump from the YouTube to a Netflix something. What does that take?
Well, okay. So first of all, I think like I said, the first step is we need more like kind of shows, like repeatable formats, so we can prove that there's an audience there for it. And then I think you might get it acquired by Netflix. I think where they're going to maybe repackage it. So I saw Mark Rober is a good example. Crunch Labs. I don't know if you guys are familiar. Yeah. So you probably saw his early YouTube videos where he did the Amazon package bombs with like sparkle bombs. Right. So that's Mark Rober. So, and he's built this massive empire. Like he's got a whole business around it. But I noticed that he was the host, one of the hosts for the Alex Honnold climb recently. So basically Netflix is working with YouTubers. That's to say that. But what they did is they took his content, they repackaged it. So they didn't just put it on Netflix, but they did like a new intro. They kind of made it like a slightly different length, but the meat of the episodes were basically just his existing YouTube content. So I think that's the first thing is I think content for YouTube. Reskinned it. Yeah. So I think we'll probably see that first is maybe like taking some of the content we've already seen, repackaging it. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like when you see shows, like is ultra running big enough for a general audience? I don't know. Like, is it interesting enough for a general audience? It might
be based on the character, right?
Probably, right?
Like a Cam Haines,
like Formula One racing. We see these shows now where I have no interest in Formula One, but I'll watch.
But they made a cool show.
They're awesome.
I'm like, I don't know anything about it, but Formula One, that sounds awesome. Yeah, because they made a good show.
The show about Tour de France, like that's so good. But it's about the characters, right?
Yeah.
The teams, and it's like it's a lot of money, and it's obviously intended at an audience who doesn't necessarily care about cycling. So can they make a show about ultra running where it's more about the characters, I guess is the question.
Yeah. And I feel like David Roche is such a good example because he's an athlete, but he is a character in his own right. Like he's got personality, he's got this flair. And I think you got a lot of people to get hooked on that because he has this character dimension to him that I think is got people hooked along the way.
Yeah. And like, what are the stakes there? I mean, that a general audience would care about. So I'm not sure. I don't know. Yeah. For me, I think like where I could see it working would be where the running is a background to it. Like, so maybe like it's a travel show centered around movement in the mountains, or it's, again, like.
Because everyone relates to travel.
Exactly. Or food or whatever. And that's where, again, you see, a lot of stuff where there's these crossover themes happening. So years ago, there were shows like, is it Boundless, I think was one. Like there have been shows where, it was endurance sports related. Amazon did not the Amazing Race. They've done stuff about adventure racing. Though.
It was like the one where they had like the stage races with like bikes and
was it like Eco Challenge or
like James Lawrence was in it. Ashley Paulson, I think. No, she was on like some other show.
Yeah.
But they have tried to make some of those reality TV show endurance sports.
The trick, I think, is, especially when you get into the high production stuff, it's got to be controllable. And so that's where, like Tour de France, those stages are like, they're they know how to film those. They've already got camera crews, they've got helicopters, and there's like a very set format. I feel like the problem with running is it's kind of wild, like, and people get injured, and it's like, I don't know, it'd be a little bit harder to shoot, but I don't know, I could see it happening. But again, it's not going to be about the running. It's going to be about the characters or some other. The stakes can't just be about the running. I don't think
because there's not enough interest.
Yeah, I don't think people really care.
Is that where the bigger money is, though? Is like you got to get picked up by a Netflix or an Amazon or a bigger money than YouTube in general?
Yeah. I mean,
to get a series or a show.
Yeah. So again, I think it comes down to having a built-in audience so that you can invest confidently. So like tying it back to what we were just talking about with YouTube. I think the reason why we haven't seen a lot of just like high-end stuff come out of the gate, things develop organically. Like there's a show called Challenge Accepted. Michelle Carr is a YouTube personality, and it's super high production value. It's really good. It feels like a TV show, but it's on YouTube. And she'll do stuff like she ran a marathon in Badwater Basin, and Scott Jurek came out and paced her. That was one of the episodes. And then the next episode will be like she joins like Army boot camp, and then so it's like every episode's like a different challenge. Really good. She's an I think pro cyclist maybe, and but if you look, and this is I'm a student of YouTube, so I'll often like look at YouTube channels, look at the videos tab, and sort by oldest and start going through. Well, she's been doing this for years, and those videos originally were like GoPros, like not high end, but you slowly see the production values go up. And all of a sudden, there's a jump, and it's like, well, that's when she got a production partner. Then all of a sudden, a year later, they renamed the channel. And so you can kind of see this progression. So they iterated their way to what it is today. Now, the question is, if she had pitched somebody like, hey, I want to start a YouTube channel called Challenge Accepted. I'd have no audience, but I need $30,000 an episode. They say, well, no, like, what do you. So she built her audience and again, sweat equity. With traditional broadcast, they do it backwards. They'll say like, we've got the audience, like Netflix has the audience, and they can push the shows they want to push. So they'll just they'll basically develop it from scratch and launch it. So I think it's got to get to a point where they're ready to invest tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands maybe per episode out of the gate with no iterating their way there, or it's going to come up organically, and that'll take more time, and that'll happen on YouTube, and then get acquired by Netflix.
I mean, maybe it's a bad example because it's just so far out there, but like Mr. Beast.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
He started in his bedroom.
Bedroom. YouTube, giving away money at $10,000, I think.
$1 million an episode or something. It's something crazy.
And now
even more.
But now, and then he comes out with his Prime.
He's on Prime now.
Like 2 years in a row now.
But he proved the model first on YouTube. It took him like 10 years. He didn't just come out of the blue and say, hey, I got an idea for a show called Mr. Beast Games. Right.
So they're like, no one would ever do Beast Games like just out of the blue.
So I think
he created the audience.
I think similarly, we're still a ways away from that on Netflix or something.
So do you think like higher production value, like that will win in even a sport like ultra running where it's like gritty and stuff? Like, do you think like that's like, I mean, eventually like you got to like build the sweat equity. Not everyone's going to be able to hire production value, but like if you're in the game for a long time, should that be a target that aspiring creators should go to? It's like, eventually I want to like get my production value up as much as I possibly can.
Like on YouTube, you think?
Yeah, YouTube.
So No, I think you get diminishing returns. And I would actually say, I was just thinking about this because I saw something on wherever it was, Instagram or something, and it was about Instagram. And it was like a bell curve. And it was somebody saying like, a lot of creators, they think they need to be like somewhere in the middle where like not putting out content fast and cheap, but also not spending a lot of money on content, just putting like content that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And their kind of thesis was like, that's where you get drowned out in the noise. You actually either want to be super authentic. Andy Glaze. Filming with his camera.
So good.
Great personality. And he bangs those videos out every day.
Every
Doesn't
day.
overthink them.
Yeah.
Then you get content like, on YouTube, like The Chase, where they spend, it's a year and it's a full production team. And so kind of the idea was on Instagram, you kind of got to be on either extreme, like getting it out there every day or super high end. Like I follow some high end like travel creators and, who do really cinematic stuff on Instagram. I think on YouTube, it's actually the middle is where you want to be. So I think on YouTube, there's a minimum barrier of entry. You got to have good audio, like some good storytelling.
Yeah.
You can't just be rolling and have this like unedited video for like an hour. Like people expect a certain level of storytelling. But at the same time, at some point you get diminishing returns. Like, again, like some of these films that we've been talking about are amazing, but how can you do one of those a month?
Yeah.
How can you have a show where you're doing a monthly, the cutoff, the chase, the finisher? It's hard to, right? But I think somewhere in the middle there, and I'd like to think that's where I sit. Like it's not, I'm considering the storytelling, but I'm also not, it's mostly me and Derek and maybe an editor. Like we're not overdoing it. And I kind of know when to hit publish. Like at some point I've spent enough time on let's get this thing out in the world.
Yeah.
So I think in the middle of that bell curve is actually the sweet spot to be on YouTube. And primarily where you want to be investing is in your storytelling.
Brandon and I had this conversation on the drive down about pushing out our race documentary for Cocodona. Because how many people are shooting a documentary this week?
Probably a lot.
10,
Probably
20,
a lot. Yeah.
I would say at least 10. Yeah.
Right? So there's a balance between, quality and speed to production.
Yeah. Do you want to be first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to be first or do you want to have the very
Or the
highest,
best. And that means releasing it probably this time next year.
Yeah.
Like the Ryan Sands documentary just came out, right?
Yeah.
That Dean Leslie produced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had that conversation, how you balance that budget, time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I win the race or I podium the race, we can take some more time to put it out.
Yeah.
Odds are I'm not going to do either of those.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you probably got to lean into the speed to publish.
Yep. So that's the thing. So you got basically on the one end of the spectrum, speed to publish. The other end of the spectrum, like a film that will last for a decade. And in the middle, I think is where my question would be, how can you do this on a monthly basis? How can you make a race documentary monthly? Is it speed to publish every month? Well, then you're not getting that. You're not building those evergreen assets. So where's the happy medium in between that? Maybe it's getting it out in 3 to 4 months. And in the meantime, you have 2 or more on the back burner that you're working on. Like, where's that sweet spot? And I think for a lot of people, just hearing that, it's like, I can't do a race like this like once a month. But like, you can do a couple of these a year, and then you can throw in some, like, in our case, we do some fast packing adventures. You got, so it's trying to figure out a format that is, not on either extreme. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a speed to publish technique, if you're like, hey, I'm going to race 3 times this year, for example, May, July, September. And we're going to get a sponsor. We're going to do a documentary on each one. And because I don't want it to take forever and I'm not going to win it, it's not going to be the chase. We're going to go speed to publish and let's get it out in a few weeks. Length of that, right? Like the longer the show, the more production,
Takes more time.
More money, but there's got to be a sweet spot to where like this is too short.
Yeah.
And then that's way too freaking long, dude.
Yeah.
So how do you balance that?
So there's 2 ways I look at that. And first of all, again, it comes back to audience expectations. So whatever you choose, I think it's good to sort of commit to something. So I've once in a while when I publish something that's like 40 minutes, I'll get comments like, oh, this was so short. Because people are used to like 80-minute films for me. So I'm like, that's a great place for me to live. It takes a while for me to make them though. It's a lot of editing. Audrey can attest to this. Like just the final just the finishing work of like spell checking my graphics and like making sure my audio levels are good. I'm outputting that like multiple times. Then I notice like a little tiny, and I'm like, it's like 4 hours of work again. I got to export it. I got to upload it, you know, got to watch the whole thing back. So everything just gets exponentially longer. But here's the thing. To say it like it is, the longer the film, the more money you make on ads. So I'll manually place my ads. I think of, again, people are watching on TV. I think of my YouTube channel as just TV for the internet, basically.
Yeah.
TV, traditionally, your episodes were about 22 minutes long out of 30. You had about 8 minutes of commercials. 7 minutes, commercial break, 7 minutes, commercial break. I kind of do a similar format. Every 7 to 10 minutes, I put in a commercial break, and I edit my videos for those breaks. So I do a fade to black, and I pre-plan those. So I'll use them strategically. Cocodona, basically, probably every time I go day to night, that'll be a commercial break.
But how do you tell YouTube when to do a commercial?
I mean, you manually place your commercials.
I didn't know you did.
Yeah,
I thought YouTube just chose.
Well, they do, and if you let it do that, you'll get a commercial like every minute and a half, and you'll piss off your audience. And you'll get comments often saying like, too many commercials.
Good stuff, bro.
So I think about commercials as being part of the story, and I mean. Yeah, like
so for Cocodona, you're like,
build suspense.
You can build suspense, so you can use them strategically.
Yeah,
it's a good chance to go take a leak.
Because you're like, what is he going to do in the
you
morning of? Like, he
go
just
get
went
some
to sleep,
popcorn.
Like, holy crap!
Exactly.
Yeah.
And sometimes sometimes audio, like there's time that passes in the footage, and so I want there to feel like time passes. I'll put in a 2-minute commercial break. Time will then pass, and then the audience comes back. And I think I found a good sweet spot where nobody complains about commercials anymore. And I think that's like roughly, again,
I'm on YouTube because I hate commercials,
8 to 10 minutes.
Dude.
But seriously, I remember when YouTube started putting them in more and more and more, and I started getting complaints. And that's when I realized you got to turn off that automatic commercial feature. You got to put them in manually. But again, I think the next move is to design your story, your editing around those commercial breaks. You can choose where to put those in, if to put them in. If you've got a lot of product placement, maybe you put no commercials in. Go a little easier on your audience. If you're what you're doing is essentially a commercial.
But you put the commercial breaks in because that drives revenue.
Exactly. So let's assume I'm putting commercial every 7 to 10 minutes. 60-minute film, I'm getting about 4 to 5 mid rolls. 80-minute film, I'm getting 2 more mid rolls. A 10-minute video with 1 million views compared to an 80-minute video with 1 million views. The 80-minute gets 8 times the revenue for those 1 million views.
Whoa.
Because I get 8 commercial breaks, assuming people watch the whole thing.
Right.
I mean, so again, you'll see like, oh, that video got, 2 million views. Well, if it's 4 minutes long, it didn't even have a mid-roll. It had a pre and a post. That's it.
So it didn't make any money.
Compared to a 40-minute video, fraction of the money. Wow. Fraction. So where, again, that's where if you look at my channel, a lot of my videos now, like for me, a decently performing video, like my vlog series, called Time on Feet, I sort of expect like 50 to 100,000 views.
Those are the ones I watched.
Yeah, and those are those are more time to publish. And those are to keep my audience engaged in between my main films, and also to build momentum or to build like expectation for the longer projects. So then when the longer film drops, people are like, yes, this is the one I was waiting for. And then those ones, I hope for 500,000 to like maybe million, 1.5 on a well-performing one. So again, like, we're talking like 1 million, 1.5 on a 80-minute film. Like that's real money. Yeah.
And how many of those a year can you put out?
So yeah, I mean, not as many. Yeah.
Like 3?
So maybe 3. Yeah. Maybe 3 or 4.
And then you're doing the Time on Feet, shorter ones.
That supplements it. Nice. And those are also getting sponsored. So I try to use my sponsorships to cover my costs, hiring videographers, editors, all of our travel.
Bring the team.
Yeah. And then basically that means I can hit the edit suite, kind of break even, sweat equity for all the editing. I'm now getting paid from years of sweat equity, so at least I can pay my bills, and knowing that that's an investment for future. Yeah.
That's the 401k, baby.
Well, yeah. But it also means I don't have to rush. I don't have to go like, oh, I got to make a video this week. It's like, no, I can wait. Let's target a couple very strategic races. I'm thinking 5 years down the road now. Like I'm thinking, okay, Hard Rock, what are the big events I want to do, the big adventures? And of course, there's an overlap. These are my personal goals as well.
Right.
There's just a perfect overlap there. My goals just happen to be similar to, the films
I don't
that
think they
people
just
want
happen
to
to be.
see.
You created that, dude.
Well, I did, but also just like, who doesn't want to run Hard Rock? I mean, who doesn't want to run?
Right.
Like
and if I can run it and film it.
Exactly. Like I want to go back to Tour de Jean. I'm planning on going back in 2028. I think it'll be my 10-year anniversary of tour.
Oh, nice.
But you can bet this time I'm going to have like drones and like we're going to do it. We're going to do it right. And the story will be 10 years on, going back to the race that started it all for me. Really, that started my YouTube channel, that race.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, pretty much. That launched
2018.
As far as viewership, that's what really, I think really kind of started building me a real audience.
That was the first one that kind of took off.
I actually didn't publish it till 2020. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you pick that race? Like, I mean, obviously there's a personal aspect to it too, but like, I feel like that race obviously very widely known in Italy.
Yeah.
But a lot of, I mean, and I think it's just being because the North American 200 just gets so much hype, but there's a lot of people who don't even know that race. But so like at the time, like, was that, like, we're like, how did that play, I guess, like into the equation of like picking races well known? Like, did you know that there's I'm just curious.
No, not at all. I mean, my channel at that point was just
it was just, I want to do tour.
Yeah, I was maybe making a few dollars, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was just a side project, a creative outlet.
Yeah.
My friend Jackie did that race, and you have these friends who are always like one step ahead of you.
Yeah.
She was always at one event ahead of me, right?
Yeah.
So she ran tour. She's like, Jeff, you would love this event, and she said, she's like, be careful though. This is going to ruin every other event for you. No event will ever compare, and she was right. Like no.
Oh,
event.
really?
Oh yeah, like the aid stations, the volunteers, the course is just incredible.
The course is insane.
Both in difficulty, but also in beauty. And then, so I ran it and I was like, yeah, you were right. And then meanwhile, that year she ran the Swiss Peaks 360. She's like, okay, so next you got to do Swiss Peaks. So I did. So the next year I did that.
You're like, everything else sucks.
It was a lot harder than tour because it wasn't as well supported, but she was the reason. She was kind of recommending these events to me. Yeah,
That's so cool.
Yeah. And then I published both of those in 2020. I was able to tease out Swiss Peaks at the end of tour with some footage. And again, I kind of use that format now where I sort of try to bridge the stories. So sometimes a race is a training race for another one and trying to bridge those stories. I mean, again, this is getting really tactical, but I think it works into that idea of, what's the story you're trying to tell, but it's also where into your larger narrative does this fit in as an athlete? So is this, because each one I feel like is a stepping stone to something maybe. And so if you're able to then tease out, like again, the mammoth, like my buddy Roman, I beat him at Moab. He beat me at the mammoth. And at the end, he's like, well, maybe we can rematch at Cocodona. And that's going to be like the cliffhanger, right? So
Is he here?
He's here. Yeah. Race within a race.
God, that's awesome.
Yeah,
So
Roman, I'm coming for you.
Yeah, there it is.
So at the end of Mammoth, that's
the final scene is that Audrey's
sick.
like rematch Roman. He's like, yeah, if Jeff can
I
get,
know what I'm looking at the tracker now.
Yeah.
Now,
It's a 9 month-
the race within the race.
I'm
yeah.
gonna be looking
Yeah.
at
8
that.
months.
Yeah.
This is the tiebreaker for
Or I'll
us
just
now.
wait for the film. But
Yeah.
Roman.
Yeah.
So, okay, Cocodona.
Roman Track, I should say his last name.
Roman Track.
Yeah.
So, what are you hoping to do this week?
Well,
Time wise and fitness wise, how you doing?
I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling good. We put in the work, but it's early. This is an early season race. That's why I've held off on it. Coming from Vancouver as well, it's hard to train in the mountains before. Well, now is when the snow is finally melting. So, although this season has actually been pretty good, we got lucky this season. There hasn't been a lot of snow. Unlucky for the skiers. Back
they
home.
hate this year.
Yeah. So we were down here. We did a big training camp. Then we've been back here now for 2 weeks. So I feel like, and I love doing this where I can really immerse myself in a course and like not treat it like I'm just showing up to race and then leaving. But no, I'm like here to really experience the course, experience in some cases the culture. If I'm going to a different country, just really just like soak, just wring everything out that I can that the event has to offer. So I feel like we've done that now. We've experienced this course. I was here last year pacing Jeff Garmeyer. So yeah, I'm just excited to piece it all together.
Yeah.
That's really it.
Any sort of time goals you're looking for?
I want to beat my Moab 240 time, which was just under 71 hours. Okay. So just rough, kind of arbitrary, but like I remember finishing that race feeling like pretty good and like I could go another 10 miles. And I always had in my head like maybe Cocodona. So I'd like to do that, but basically that 5% faster, like run that 10 miles faster for the same finish.
Yeah, and a sub 70 Cocodona is a great time. Like that is,
we'll see. That's an A-goal. That's an A-goal.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I'm right there with you.
You're fully capable of it.
Yeah. And then the main way I'm going to do that isn't by running faster, but managing my stoppage.
Yeah.
As we all know.
In and out.
Yeah. Not getting too comfortable. That's the problem with these vans. You get real comfortable in these
Especially when
vans.
it's got heated floors.
Dude,
Take a nice lie down.
So we've talked about it. It's like maybe I sleep in the chair outside of the van on the ground.
Like the
but also
rickety ass
at Mammoth, for the first time embraced the dirt nap. And dirt naps are great because like you're down, you're out for 2-3 minutes, and then you're up.
So you took no dirt naps at Moab?
No, that was the first time I ever took a dirt nap.
It's life-changing, right?
You know, in Europe, some of the races, you're not allowed to take dirt naps.
Yeah, I've never done it.
Really?
Yeah.
A tour, you allowed to take dirt naps?
I think it was it was either Tour or Swiss Peaks. They said no dirt naps for like safety reasons or something. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, if you're too high up, you fall asleep. It's cold.
Yeah, could be.
Cold, yeah.
So I think I never had that in my like protocol, in my toolbox. Wow. And then Moab, we had these like pretty planned. I think we did well at that race, but what ended up happening was I realized like that's where I'd lost time. I mean, if I could easily have shaved off 20 minutes at aid stations of that race and had a different outcome. So I think for a lot of us, right, that's where we gotta really fight is to minimize stoppage time, and then for me as well, it's that middle. So day one's fun. It's gonna be a party. There's so many of us out there, right? The third day, I love the last day as well because you can kind of smell the barn.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I feel like when you get on that final, whatever it is, 50 miles, like 40 miles, you're pretty much home. I know we got to climb up Mount Eldon, but still, like it's the middle. That's hard. It's the middle, and maybe that's an obvious thing to say, but it's like I've just got to get better at keeping the gas down and not getting complacent because I come in with goals, and at the end, race within a race. Maybe I got to catch up to that one guy, whatever it is. But the middle is where I get complacent. So I'm going to have a pledge written to myself that I'm going to sign, and I'm going to have Audrey show it to me during the race. Every time and be like, this was past Jeff writing a note to now present Jeff.
What's on the pledge? Like, what's the pledge?
I've got it. Yeah. Basically, it's basically just like, like man up. Like don't get complacent. You're going to regret it, bitch. Every minute counts. Don't be a bitch. Yeah,
get out of the aid station.
But it's kind of just like, remember why you're here. Like this will be over before you know it.
Yeah.
Just keep pushing. Yeah.
Keep the camera out. Keep filming.
Keep filming.
Yeah.
Well, that's part of it too, is filming. So, so like I said, I took my first dirt naps. We didn't film any of them.
Oh, it's such good content.
I might reenact it, or I might cheat and use some of the footage from this one in the Mammoth film. But we didn't film any of the dirt maps because like it's those moments where and I realized I could easily set the camera up, like put a little timer, So it's hard to film in those real low points. But that's where it's great having the pacers as well because they can film you in your low points.
And then at Cocodona, I mean, you got no pacers going up Eldon, so you gotta film the final.
That's right.
We talked about that. I'm like, do you want me to take a GoPro and like film up Eldon? He's like, dude, if you're up for it. I'm like, I kind of think I have to.
You got to do it for the story.
Kind of got it.
I guess it's really down Eldon, which will be
down Eldon sketch. Yeah.
That's where you got to film.
Yeah, that's where you got to film though. Yeah.
Oh, that descent.
Oh, it is wild. Speaking of, I mean, you've done so much of the course already. Like, were there any sections that like shocked you or surprised? Were you like, oh my gosh, or all par for the course? Like, what was kind of?
Well, I mean, we kind of talked about this. Like, it's kind of relative as well to other events, especially like
not
this
Europe.
Is, I mean, this is a running race, right? This is a running race, but there's definitely a few sections that are going to slow us down. I'm like, that descent off Eldon's going to be rough at the end.
Quads are wrecked.
Quads are going to be wrecked, and like
trying not to eat it.
Yeah, and like it would be, I'm not going to lie, it'd be nice to have a nice runnable descent, just to like leave it out there, Instead, it's going to be trying to like not like roll an ankle, and, not break a pole if I can. That'd be great. Yeah.
That would be.
No, I mean, not really. I think I'm looking forward to the Hangover Trail. That's just a great section. I paced Jeff through that last year. We pre-ran it again a couple weeks back. I've seen probably, I haven't exactly added it up, probably about 210, 220 miles the course. So there's a lot of fire service road, a lot of running, which will be good. It'll be good shuffling.
Yeah.
Good sort of faster running.
What kind of pace are you doing on those?
I don't know. I mean, it's just
12
just trying to keep
10s or who knows.
In miles,
you were boogieing at Moab. I mean, like on those those dirt road sections out there. I mean, you were boogieing.
It doesn't feel like it, but I think if you're running, you're as long as you're not walking.
Right.
I think
if you're running, you're fine.
I think that's the thing. If you can just never walk a step on flat, like I think that's I shouldn't say never walk a step, but you shouldn't be like walking huge sections. Where last year, I mean, you guys were like, and I was pacing Jeff, and there were sections where we were walking because there was so much mud. And it was like demoralizing.
Yeah.
So
did you guys do the Hangover Trail at night?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, it was hard to navigate.
What's it going to take to get there during the day?
That is what we've been asking ourselves because that would be some good footage. I don't know. I think
I want the footage, and I know we'll move faster up it, bro. I think it might be tight. I don't know. We're gonna have to like cook.
Yeah.
A couple.
So
sections.
do we push to get ahead of that section just for the footy? Maybe
for the film.
Maybe it's worth it. Well, it's funny because I remember with Moab, Derek was like, "Don't go too fast because we want to get you. We want to get the sunrise coming off of
Porcupine.
coming up Porcupine Rim. Yeah." Yeah.
That's funny.
For the footy. I love that as a mantra.
Do it for the
Do it for the
Bro,
footy.
like next time when I'm racing Western States, man, I'm gonna be like for the footy.
Yeah.
At Mammoth, there was this tunnel that was all lit up with lights, and Drew was there to film me, and I think he missed me the first time, so I ran back through it. Did it again. He didn't ask me to, but I saw him. I'm like, I know he probably sat there for like an hour waiting for me. I got to give him the shot.
Yeah, I got you, dog.
Yeah, I got you. Don't worry. We never talk. We got this thing. Like we try to make it so that like Derek or Drew, who I'm working with, doesn't give me any moral support. It's obviously hard when there's a camera, you get excited, right? But they'll never, you're doing great. Like that's the rules. Like I won't acknowledge them. They don't acknowledge me. And if I go off course, they let me go off course. Like that's the way it should be.
Has that happened at times? Or
hasn't happened to me, but that's, Drew told, we were talking
Sally,
about, we were talking about the podcast interview I did with him. He let Sally go off course, and that's the way it should
Drew
be.
did.
Right.
Drew did. It's this is where you get into like FKTs. Like is an FKT unsupported if there's a camera person? And I think the ruling is no. You shouldn't have a camera person. It becomes a supported attempt because you're getting moral support. It's tougher in a race. Having said that, there's lots of camera people out. There's drones. There's Drew being out there means he's also probably filming other people and supporting them as well. But at least we don't verbally communicate, and we certainly don't give navigational aids or anything like that. That's
Yeah.
Because that is against the rules, technically.
Well, outside.
Well, it's technically outside aid. It's an unfair advantage. Yeah. And I personally think that should extend to let your runner go off course. I mean,
didn't Iron
you're not
Man,
there.
Didn't Iron Man just come out with something where like Iron Man doesn't let their athletes use cameras?
Oh
in
no,
their races
there's
anymore?
no phones like content shooting now or cameras or something like that.
Yeah. So
why? What is that?
I'm trying to remember now. I think that was actually no. They actually always had that ruling. They clarified it to add VR glasses. That wasn't a new ruling.
Oh.
Yeah.
It made it seem like it was new. Yeah.
No, I know. I was kind of commenting on some of the posts about that because it wasn't new. The VR glass, or not VR, like the meta glasses. Yeah. That's what they added to the policy.
Gotcha.
So you couldn't film.
You still couldn't film
during those tries at all.
Not without permission. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay.
Huh. That would stink if they had that in Ultrarunning.
What would we do? How do we grow the sport?
Bro.
This guy wouldn't have a job.
Dude, if your YouTube videos cease to exist, I would go into a long state of depression. I would say that.
This is probably a whole other conversation, but it's like our content creators like myself, like a net positive or a net negative. I try to always be a net positive. Like I typically will avoid the long selfie sticks if I can, or I use them very sparingly. And I think like a big road marathon's different than like a trail race as well, right?
For sure.
But I do think at some point we are going to get to a point where there's just too many of us with cameras out there, and we're just filming each other.
You got a stick, and then there's 30 drones above you.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta draw the line.
When we filmed at UTMB 2022, I remember having my selfie stick up, and we got some good footage. But now I see footage, and everybody's got a selfie stick up, and it's again, I think, and that's where at some point I'm just going to put my camera away. And I think it might be getting to that point where I want to encourage people to get out there and to do these races and to push themselves. And I'm not trying to encourage people to get out there with the selfie stick though. Like I'm not trying to everybody should film their races. Like at some point, enjoy your first event. I get a lot of questions where people are like, I'm running my first 100 miler. What selfie stick should I use? Oh, geez, my advice is dude, just leave the camera at home. Enjoy it. Just focus on your race,
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely think that content creators such as yourself are such a net positive. I mean, because you take us on adventures and, you get people into the sport. So being a creator myself, I know there's a lot of bias, but I think you have a good point of it because sometimes you see content creators being irresponsible, not being conscious of, other runners, the race, like the environment, whatever that might be. So I think it's like the ones who can do it and contribute, but also not be a net negative to the surroundings. I think
not to take away from somebody else's experience. I think drones as well. Like we try to be super respectful with drones. And again, I think that's where working with guys like Derek Lytle, Drew Darby, they get it. They're they know the other athletes. They know the race directors. They're not going to do anything stupid, you know, and they're not going to fly a drone where you're not allowed to, or get really close to somebody with a drone like that. So we try to be a net positive, and we'll keep doing this for as long as we can still say that, basically.
Dude, that's awesome. Well, hey man, I'm going to wrap up. I appreciate you coming in. This has been awesome.
Dude, this was actually one of the most fascinating conversations I've had in a long time.
Kind of selfishly. Well, we'll probably be sharing some miles out there, it sounds like. So
I think we're going to be right there.
I have FOMO.
Same. Hey,
so much FOMO.
You were in, bro.
I was.
Well, you chose too fast of an athlete to pace. That's your problem.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you were in.
You should have joined the content team.
I know. Damn.
He was on the start line.
Well, I was.
in the race.
And then
And then you got into Badwater.
Well, Western States.
In Western States.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Yeah. And I was like,
If I was in Western, I'm still doing Cocodona.
shout out to Jeff what's his face? Kevin Goldberg did the double one year. He did Western States Badwater or a
shout
Cocodona
out
double.
Kevin.
So he's a stronger man than I am.
Yeah. Well, thanks to Re-Lyte. We've got a little box for you over there for Re-Lyte.
Sweet.
Some
So I gotta-
hydration. I
I
don't know if
gotta
you ever
hydrate.
had the electrolyte stuff, but I've been using it for years. We got them to kind of partner up on Cocodona month.
Cool.
All things Cocodona. I've got a copy of my book for you,
Nice.
Trial Running.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the Jake Kilgore story of federal prosecution, followed by a couple years in prison,
Okay.
and the next aid station mentality and where the brand came from. But the book kind of parallels a story. You talk about storytelling. Mm-hmm. That's my story. And it's got, it's paralleled with the I'm Tough 100. So
Sweet.
I'll leave you with a copy of that. You can hit the Audible if you want to listen to it on your drive back to Canada. But thanks for coming in, man. This is awesome.
This has been fun.
good.
Yeah.
Super cool getting to know you, dude.
Yeah. Well, looking forward to sharing some miles, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And
Yes, sir.
continuing the conversation. Yeah.
Thank you, Rockstar. Thank you, Re-Lyte. Thanks, One Home. This is Jeff Pelletier. This has been another episode of The Next Aid Station.